Everyone, I'm Ria. For the past 3 months, I've had the pleasure of mentoring Lily through Magic. Throughout all of our mentoring sessions, I've been consistently super impressed by Lily's ability to pick up new concepts quickly, and the joy with which she explores new concepts and asks questions and is excited to learn. From her insightful questions to drawing interesting connections between her engineering classes here at Castille and the work we were doing on learning Python together. Lily's genuine curiosity and her desire to learn have really shined throughout the past 3 months. So I'm really excited for all of you now to get to hear from her about what she's been working on and the really cool project that she's built the past few months.
Hi, my mentor is Ria, and she works at a place called Applied Intuition. And one thing she works on is perception for robotics. And she came from Palo Alto. She also went to Castilleja, and she was a Magic mentee in 8th grade. She likes to bike, swim, and read, and one of her favorite books when she was my age was Harry Potter. So my project was a single-player version of Pong. In the picture you see, I screenshotted a picture of like a Pong game without a line, which is the arcade game. I coded it in Python 3, and one of the reasons I chose it is because I wanted to play ping pong, but I don't know how to play ping pong, and I don't have access to a ping pong table, or I think I can. So I made an online version. Some things I learned while playing, while making it and playing it, or control flow, loops, lists, functions, strings, and everything you see on the string and more, and on the screen. And we used Pygame to code the game and learn how to use Pygame functions and that were specific to Pygame. I finished the base of the game, but it's so that it's playable, but it's really easy. That's not difficult or challenging. So I would add a wait time at the beginning so it doesn't throw you right into it. And I would also add a multiplayer version if you want to play with friends or different difficulties so it's harder. So in my experience was one of our weekly meetings, I wanted to learn about how animation works. So we watched videos about animation and the process behind it. So the first picture on the bottom left is when you watch a video on how Disney coded Rapunzel in different hair types. And that's so Rapunzel was challenging because we used 3D. So they made the amount of hair smaller and then multiplied it so that it would look more thick. And then the next part is in Encanto. They made it so that every hairstyle was represented. So from 1A to 4C. And Ria also helped me code with Codecademy, which is an app, and on the other picture on the right, that's the task that you did in Codecademy to make a project. And I learned how to manage my time over the week because normally I would do it on just Saturday or before a meeting. But over time I learned how to do it over the week. And Ria taught me how to code with Python 3 and the similarities between Scratch and Snap and Python. And downloading Xcode was hard because I was in Texas and tried to do it and it wouldn't work. But then when I got home, it also wouldn't work. So Ria had to help me do it. So this is my demo, and I'm gonna,
I think the audio is.
Do you want the audio to play? Or do you want to transfer it? Do you want the audio?
For Pygame, because Pygame is based on the arcade game called Palo Alto.
It's very hard to do.
So this is my code, and first you have to write import Pygame because Pygame is the app we use to write this in Python 3. And you have to import random because we use a randomizer. So a class is where you define a certain type of sprite. And so this class is the paddle, which is what you use in ping pong. So we define like how we move the paddle, and then this is the ball, and you define how the ball moves and when the ball has to move. So if you scroll down, you have to add it to a group called all sprites, so we can control all of them at once. And this is called a game loop. So while running, because running equals true, so while you are running, then you can iterate through this game loop multiple times. But if you die, if the ball hits the wall that's behind your paddle, then you die and you have to reload the game. But the reason it makes you die is because it sets running to false. So down here it says running is false. So now if you click the play button, you'll start getting into the game, and you kind of have to move it immediately. And if the ball hits your paddle, then you get 1 point. So you'll keep running, and it's made to randomize whether it goes up, down, or straight. And then if we let it hit the other wall, then it says how many points you got. Thank you. It's my magic project based on the.
Wonderful, amazing job. Amazing job. Let's open up the floor for questions. So again, please take yourself off of mute, or you, if you're there in the room, ask away.
I'd love to ask a question. I'm curious what Ria said, that you brought some knowledge from your CS and MD class to your coding. Can you tell me more about that? What the still helped you? Bill?
We did that, I think 2 units on Snap, so it's like the drag and drop. So like we learned like one, I can't like, so like what if you if you select this right and then put like say this, like that's the equivalent of just putting print or making text on the screen. But like there's a bunch of similarities, just like the
Cool, thanks.
I have a question. This is Smriti on Zoom. First of all, that was incredible, Lily. Great work and presentation. I was wondering if you could apply anything, or if you have ideas from what you saw in the animation videos and how you could apply that to Pong or other games that you might make, or maybe the animation made you think of a different game or kind of thing you'd want to build.
In the animation video, we mostly looked at like how they colored hair and like different types of hair and how they like curly hair and straight hair, and how like curly hair was controlled difficult. And also like Disney used to make 2D hair instead of 3D hair, because then they started with 3D hair. And like you could apply that, like if you were to make like a 3D thing, it would be much harder to make a 3D thing than make 2D. Like the ball, I made all of my stuff 2D because it was much easier. I didn't know how to make these stuff.
Sounds good. Thank you.
What was your favorite thing that you learned in this process?
How to use like different kinds of apps. So like you could use like a web or something, but like I download something and it was like easier to code it once you're in there, because it has like help and stuff and function. It's for each.
I'm curious if you're interested in kind of continuing this work, or now that you've learned this, if there's something else. I know you talked about initially information and being interested in going that route. Are you still interested in growing, or have you learned that you're like, I'm good?
I like grow in this, and also like I also want to learn like animating like movies and stuff, but like, animation, not like action things. But I also want to learn in this because it's really cool to like see how to change it.
Was there anything that surprised you in the process, either about your learning or about yourself?
Okay, speak a little louder because people can't hear.
I'm really indecisive. First I wanted to do a escape room, but then I changed it like halfway through to so yeah, I changed my
I think in Silicon Valley, we call it pivoting, and that's a good thing. Do you, my question is, have you seen the world a little differently since you started learning this? Has there been a point when like maybe you were using another program or you're using an app and something thought like, oh, I see how they did something like this from what you learned through the Magic program?
Like I guess kind of the drag and drop of the stuff. Like so we first had the like coding unit, and then I started Magic, and then we had another coding unit halfway through. So then like once I learned the print and like other functions, I just started looking at like the say, do this, and then I noticed, and also like the move.ip thing, like you just put like glide to this or go to this place, you don't like actually type it. So that was I like that, like behind that. That's actually cool.
Great job. And I was wondering if you had considered incorporating like some sort of gravity or some kind of physics functionality into it. So it would, you know, instead of bouncing slowly, it might bounce quickly and then slow down as it moved away from the wall. Is that something you can do in Pygame easily? Do you know?
I think so. In like the videos, or we did a Khan Academy thing with like a ball bouncing, and so it talked about how like if you dropped the ball, like if you made it just using I think it's linear calculation, yeah, it would just like I think go the same speed, but or like if you just made it like the same distance from each other. But if you made it like it starts off slow and then gets faster as it gets closer to the ground. Yeah. So if you did it like the same, like closer than farther apart, then it would look more realistic and like look like gravity. And then also in the in Khan Academy we did like a hair. So we learned in there's a video on how Pixar animated their hair. So they had to make sure the gravity and then the spring, because the curly hair, so the gravity and the springs made sure that it bounced back without too much bounce. Yeah.
So is that why you studied hair, was to connect to the bouncing ball? Cool, thank you. Just trying to make that connection.